Well, good morning, everyone. Going to do a live stream, just the foreigner this morning. Marcel's still sleeping. It's 7:20 in the morning here, so just having my good morning coffee. Thought I'd do a live stream at a little bit different time. Marcel and I usually do them really late in the evening here, like I don't know, 11 in the evening, midnight or so. And thought I'd do a live stream this morning, maybe give an opportunity for more people to, or different people, to be able to catch a live stream and shoot some questions at me on the live stream. Enjoying my morning coffee here. Hello, Judy. How are you? Jane, to you as well. MH, aloha. Charles, how are you? There's a lot been going on over here with this coronavirus. I've kind of noticed a little bit less uh, tourism, if you will. I haven't checked any national statistics or anything, but I can kind of tell by we went to Cebu last week, and I can kind of tell by the amount of people on the ferries. We've gone 2 times in the last 2 weeks, and it seems a little bit less traffic. Hello, Donnie from Canada. Jason Lacey. I'm way behind on my comments as well. I just started answering a few this morning. I noticed I was 3 days behind. I apologize to you guys. I might do a video and try to catch up a little bit on those. Hermisa, good morning to you as well. Jason, good morning. Mr. Biloxi Fireman, morning to you as well. Crazy Cheryl, Life in the Philippines. Well, that's a title right there. Marcel sleeping. I got up like an hour ago. And Marcel likes her sleep, especially since she's been pregnant. Jeremy, how you doing? Yeah, Judy, I don't follow much news from the States anymore because we don't have TV. We don't have cable TV like a lot of foreigners do here, and keep up on the news from the States. What little bit I do watch, yeah, I think it's who was it that said Rahm Emanuel, don't let a good crisis go to waste, and they got to fill the airways with something, right? Wow. Mr. Biloxi Fireman is saying they're already stopping some fire departments in the U.S. from responding with medics to possible corona calls. Wow, that's getting a little nuts. Jason's wanting to know if I got the messages from Texas Filipino. Yeah, I've been watching James's videos. Really helpful. Uh, James is a fellow country boy such as myself, and has some good advice. He's been here a while too. Honestly, I don't have a lot of time to watch other channels' videos. I did watch the ones that he specifically made for me and in regards to my situation with the pump boat, whatever you want to call it, bunker boat. I haven't really watched any of his other videos. So yeah, special shout out to James from Texas Filipino. You guys check him out. Scott Sheffield, good morning from Elfers, Florida. Wow. And Guam. Good morning, Scott. Or Patrick is from Guam, I'm sorry. Pierre, good morning to you as well. Judy, it's 6:16 p.m. here in Oklahoma. Yeah, I was kind of hoping to get a little bit different crowd. Good morning to you as well, Marvin. Daniel Wilcox, how about adding a little weight, solid sun blocking on top of your well tower top? You block most bugs and turning the water green with algae. We did have a top on that tank for a while, and the guy that put the top on that tank didn't make it so it could be open, and I had to get in there to repair. It was leaking. Had to get in there and do a repair on that tank, and we basically just had to tear the top of it off. That was like a year ago, and we haven't gotten back around to redoing it. But yeah, it's a good idea, and it's on the list, and we'll get to it one of these days. 62 to freedom. Hello, I'm moving to Panay Island with my wife and child in 2 years. We will build a house on property we already own. What would be the number one thing you would bring? Number one thing that I would bring would be patience. If you're going to have the construction done by locals and you're familiar at all with any kind of construction techniques from the West, uh, bring a double handful of patience with you, because you're going to see some things that are a little bit different than the way you've been used to doing it. Other than that little joke, I would say bring things like line levels. Well, it depends on how much of the work you're going to do yourself. Things like line levels. Uh, the, the power here is 220. It's 2-wire 220, so any of your power tools aren't going to be much good to you unless you get a really big converter here, and they're pricey. One big enough to convert the electricity into a 110 skill saw will run you over $100. You can get tools here that are of varying degrees of quality, usually a little bit less quality than what you're used to, even if they do have a fancy name on them, like DeWalt or Makita or something like that. Chances are it's a Chinese knockoff. There's not that much that I would bring other than a willingness to do things a different way than what you're used to. Bruce, good morning to you as well. Edward, hello to my Okie hero. Hello to you as well, Edward. And yeah, we Southern boys are eloquent in a little bit different way than a lot of people are used to. Lawrence, good morning to you as well. Scroll down a little bit here. And I missed it. I went too far. Expat living in the Philippines. Hello to you as well. Cape Bread engineer, top of the month, top of the morning to you, Brian. plan to put some sort of shield or insulation on the exhaust and on the exhaust stack of your new diesel boat engine. I could see someone getting their hands burned. You know, I let Tatai uh, build that exhaust the way that he wanted. I wanted the exhaust smoke out of the boat. I didn't really care how he did it, and told him I really don't care how you do it, Tatai. Just put an exhaust extension on that muffler. I'm not real thrilled with what he came up with. I think I'm going to redo it. I'm just going to I'm going to basically put a pipe extension on the muffler and run it horizontally right out the side of the boat. Even if I have to drill a 2-inch hole in the side of the hull, way above the water line, I'll do it. Uh, not so not so much because what he came up with is not effective, but there is that thing of someone burning themselves. Excuse me. There is that thing of someone burning themselves, and it's a lot of vibration. I don't know how long that's going to hold together the way the setup that he has done. So I'm just going to make something that's a lot less high in the air and that goes straight out the side of the boat. So I guess the long answer to your question is no, I'm not going to put a heat shield on it, but I'm going to redesign it a little bit. Rich Tucker, morning, Brian. Did you get a smaller prop on? Yeah, I did, Rich. I put when we bought that engine, it's a 16 horsepower diesel. The mechanics there was 4 of them standing around. They all concurred that we should put a 14-inch prop on that motor. And I ran all around town, and nobody had a 14-inch, so we got a 13-inch, which is smaller than they recommended. And Gabriel couldn't get it to start. Couldn't start the engine because there's just too much drag on that big propeller. I went out with him the next day and took it out, and we fired up the gas engine and got going as fast as we could, which is 10 or 11 kilometers an hour with just the gas engine. And then he was able to start the diesel with one pull. But it was lugging so hard because that prop was still too big. We never could even get it past a fast idle. So we ended up losing that prop on the way back in. Another 1,900 pesos laying on the ocean floor somewhere. And I went around town searching for a 10-inch prop, which is quite a bit smaller. I couldn't find one, so we settled on an 11-inch prop. Should have went to Even Buy somewhere and got the 10-inch prop. We got the 11-inch prop on it. It works. It's easy to start. It still seems like, though, it's a little bit too large for that engine. Could be we're just not getting a lot of power out of that diesel because it's new. It's not really broken in yet, but it's not lugging it anymore. There's no black smoke coming out of it under load. Probably, I don't know. I've had Gabriel not push it, not even give it half throttle because I want to break it in a little bit before we start pushing it. So yes, we got a smaller prop. We got the 11-inch on it. Time will tell whether or not I should have looked a little harder for a 10-inch. Oh, slightly inappropriate. How's the low carb diet going? It's going. I haven't been staying on it religiously day to day because it's hard to here because this is a high carb environment in the Philippines. Everything here is high carb. Rice, all the bread is sweet. Um, it's tough. And meat here is incredibly expensive, much more so than in the West. Well, I say that, but I haven't gone shopping anywhere in the West in like 3 years. I'm sure everything's getting expensive everywhere. There's no such thing as deflation in this world. It's only inflation. Uh, it's hard to find other than chicken, and chicken's not that cheap either. It's hard to find a protein other than chicken that's not insanely priced. I haven't weighed. I've been on it about a week, uh, and we've had guests show up. And really, when you go to a restaurant, the only thing that you can order, that I could order to eat, would be something that's on the menu that has carbs in it or whole chicken. And next time we go out, I'll have the whole chicken. Aiden Ramos, hello from Las Vegas. Yeah, Las Vegas is a good place to be from. I'm doing the best I can. I will tell her hi, Judy. Morning to you. Yeah. Kevin Elliott, good morning, Brian from North Dakota. I just visited my fiance there in Tacloban City in January. Now the coronavirus is making it hard to get back with all the travel restrictions. Yeah, I'm not up to speed on the travel restrictions. I do know that, my friend Rich just came, or Rick, I'm sorry, just came from the States, and he made it a point not to go through China. I think that's the big thing. William Montgomery, good morning to you. Rich Tucker, would a bike motor work? Yeah, I assume you're asking if a bike motor would work for a motorcycle engine work for the pump boat. And 125 cc engine is about 13 horsepower. Uh, it would work, I would imagine, but the way that motorcycle engines are designed and the high revs that they operate at, they're not really fuel efficient. So yeah, a motorcycle engine would work, but it would take a lot of fuel. And it's not something that I totally discounted, because you could find a motorcycle engine still in a frame. You do have a transmission, so things like a prop size wouldn't be that big of a problem. It's a thought. If anyone had a diesel motorcycle, I'd probably put one in. Lady Farmer thinks big. Hello to you as well. Edward, everything costs more on the island. That is the truth, because it has to come from somewhere by boat or plane, but usually here by boat. Michael, a roasted chicken costs the same as in the USA, and pork prices were higher than in the USA. No sale prices like USA. Yeah. I think the last chicken that we bought was 155 pesos per kilo, which works out to about $1.55 a pound. That's for a whole chicken. I don't know what chicken's selling for in the United States right now. Yeah, speaking of coffee, good morning to you as well, Carol. Oh, where am I at here? There's the Texas Filipino. Good morning, James. We're just talking about you. Wanted to thank you for making those videos for me. I agree with almost everything you put in. I don't think anyone ever gets worldwide acclaim. I'm trying to think exactly Oh, you had made a point on the one of the I think the second video that you made about taking the shaft off because I told Gabriel uh, I'd said that Gabriel could start the engine without the propeller on it, and that the shaft might be kinked or something. That's why we were getting a loss of power. He had just taken the prop off the shaft, and it was easy to start. And I think I've explained why uh, it ended up we were able to start it. There wasn't any restriction in the shaft. It wasn't bent or kinked or anything. It's just the prop was way too big, and it was creating resistance in the water even while he was cranking it. And Gabriel's used to starting much smaller gasoline engines. He had choked the pull rope down to where it was only about 4 feet, maybe only getting 2 wraps around that pulley. I readjusted it for him so that he could get at least one more wrap on it, and made it about a 5.5 foot rope, which is what it was when it came. And he started at the first pull after I got a little advice into him. Let's see, where am I at here? Things are scrolling pretty fast. Man, definitely good live stream right now. Yeah, I had always thought that the quality would be a little bit better early in the morning because the internet is better here in the morning. It's faster. Now it's coming up on 8 o'clock. Whether that'll remain the case or not, that's anybody's guess because all the kids are getting ready to go to school, and I would imagine they're going to be crowding things up here pretty soon. But I think now is a good time. Corazon, good morning to you as well. Good morning, Carl. San Francisco. Well, yes, that's another good place to be from. Uh, Texas, feeling boats are a pain in the boat. Yeah, I'm glad there's no buffering, guys. Yeah, never-ending repairs. Everything here is never-ending repairs. It seems like, but that's life. Margie, good morning to you as well. I guess good afternoon to you. It's morning here. We appreciate you watching. Mr. McDeman, what about a moped engine with an automatic transmission? Well, again, it's fuel consumption. Uh, could be a possibility. Michael wants to. Brian asks, Brian, what is going on in China, other parts of Asia, and in Italy? Supply chain is going to be broken for a long time to come. Do you think it would be a good thing to stock up on food? Um, the thought has crossed my mind. Uh, it actually crossed my mind right when we bought the new engine for the boat. Chinese made, any parts will be coming from China. And right at that time, I think Xi Jinping had basically ordered all the slaves in China back to work, even if they were sick or even if they could get sick. Um, yeah, it's still kind of up in the air. I think it's a lot worse in China than what they're saying. They're saying the new cases have gone down. I think that's easily manipulated by how many people you're testing. I think that's how they fudged the numbers in the beginning. It is a serious problem, but I think there's also a little bit of hysteria over it as well. Uh, People do get sick from this coronavirus and they do die. But it's, and, you know, what's a nice way to put it? Um, it's probably, uh, I think the last I heard, it's 3 or 4 times more deadly than the common flu. Um, And how many people do you know that have died from the flu? Even though it's serious, it's not like it's going to wipe out half the population anywhere. Uh, if you're elderly and have some sort of pre-existing condition or an issue with your lungs in particular, then the coronavirus could be a bad thing for you. As far as I understand, children are basically immune to it. They really don't catch it. And I think that's pretty common with most flus. Kids get colds a lot, but they don't often get flus. Why? Who knows? Um, I don't think it's anywhere near the point to where you should start stocking up on things, hoarding things, because of some anticipation of a supply chain breakdown from China. Uh, Regardless of his politics, there's a video on YouTube by Steve Bannon who talks at length about how China has set things up and how people from the West have allowed things to be set up so that China is the main manufacturer of a lot of essential things that the West is dependent on. I forget the name of the video. I watched it about a week ago. Um, it's rather enlightening if someone wanted to watch that. Just Google Steve Bannon, China, I guess. Break out another 1,000. Yeah, that's that's true the world over. Martin, I would like to move to Bohol in out 2 year maybe he's means in about 2 years, God willing. Would love to meet you when I get there, Martin. Like I tell everyone, come on over. Everyone is welcome. And I scrolled down too far. Jay, good morning from Phoenix, Arizona. Next month, I am moving to Lipa City, Batangas. Well, good on you, Jay. Texas Filipino James says the moped clutches and gears can't handle the strain. I would tend to agree. Uh, when you've got it's a special kind of torque and resistance when you're in the water. Liquid cannot be compressed, and to get it to move, which is what the prop is doing, takes a lot of torque, a lot of force. And then you have a single cylinder engine, which is creating all the power in 1/4 of its motion. If it's a 4-cycle engine, so you've got a lot of beating around going on there, and it's tough on everything. And so everything has to be really well built and decently designed, or you're going to have a problem. Elmi, have a great day. God bless you as well. Where are we at? Martin Vanderbrandt, oil of oregano for virus, large dose of vitamin C. Make sure you have lots of ibuprofen, Sensen, and chicken soup. All good advice. Yeah, the people that have died from the coronavirus are generally they have some underlying condition. Thank you, Rich. Emily's want to know how is the Azola. The Azola, we filled up the old worm bed. We put the tarp in it and put water in it yesterday. And I'm going to go down in the morning, this morning, as soon as I'm through with this live stream, and see if there's enough Azola left to move up into that area. And if there's not, then we're going to have to go get some more. It's not doing well at all. The fish, I think it's a combination of the fish are still eating it a little too much. And when we had Azola in there before, it was never an issue with the direct sunlight. But many people have told me that it has that orange rusty color because it's getting too much sun. So it may be a combination of the two. The fingerlings are eating it too fast, and it's getting too much sun. So whatever's left, if there's enough left, I'll bring it up here and put it in that little pond. And if there's not enough left, we'll go get some more. And when we put it back into the tilapia pond, we'll cover it. White Wolf, yes, it would be a great idea. Have you heard about the Chinese troops in the Philippines? Like, what's up there, lady? What do you want? What, flashlight? What do you want the flashlight for? Somebody's in here bugging me for the flashlight. Here. My girlfriend and Bulacan have heard via the local news that the Philippine government is seriously investigating it. I haven't heard anything about Chinese troops in the Philippines. Texas Filipino, when are you going to get 50 goats and a goat farm? That's not going to be ever, because my brother Paul and I raised goats for a while, and we had close to 200. I'm not a big fan of goats. They're ornery critters. There's always one or two who are doing something that you don't want them to do, and it's monkey see, monkey do, and then pretty soon they're all doing something you don't want them to do. I hate losing my place in the feed here. Way there we go. I don't know why I can't just seem to scroll down a little bit with the mouse here. It goes down like 30 comments, and then I have to find out where I was at. Carol, washing your hands, number one. Yeah. Wash your hands, don't cough on people, and stay out of large crowds. Inkay's Home Garden. I hope I'm saying that right. We have cases down in Florida. Just be very careful. I used to work in a nursing home. Just wear PPE and hand washing. Yeah, with something like this, because the coronavirus has such a long incubation period where you can be contagious and not have any symptoms, that something like this is basically impossible to control. I think everyone should just be hopeful that summertime is coming. Viruses don't like heat. Um, that's why your body makes a fever, trying to kill it. So just be hopeful that when summertime comes around, the virus will die off, because there's no way. I mean, they've locked down 10% of the world population in China. 10% of the world population is in lockdown in China, trying to control this. And how's that working? There's still new cases, still people getting infected in China and now worldwide. This is not, you just can't control something like this. It's got to run its course. You can do all the things that you think is going to happen, and it just takes one person to escape the quarantine, get out of it, and that one person infects 3 others, and then those 3 others infect 10 others, and those 10 others infect 100 others, and you can see how it goes. It just takes one. And so, I know the big thing now is that when you come in on a flight, it happened to Rick when he came here, they point the little laser thermometer at your forehead and see if you have a temperature or not. That's just window dressing. Like I say, you can be contagious and spreading this around, I guess, up to 2 weeks without showing symptoms. So that's just they're trying to calm people, to appease them, to make it look like they're doing something to control it, when in fact it means nothing. You could be passing around the COVID-19, I think that it is, for 2 weeks without showing any symptoms, and one of those symptoms would be a temperature. So you could be infected as hell and passing it around, and that little thermometer on your forehead doesn't mean nothing. Uh, it's just an example of a government trying to do something uh, to quell panic and to make themselves look like there's a reason for their existence. Uh, I didn't know an 8-month-old baby had it. When I said children were basically immune to it, uh, they're much less susceptible to catching it. Dev, hey Brian, when you transplant those tomatoes, make sure you or no one around smokes or handles tobacco. It would infect the plants with tobacco. I think yeah, tobacco mosaic virus. Uh, it's not often deadly, but it does. It's not often deadly for the plant, but it does affect production. I think I want to catch all my neighbors' goats and send them down there. Yeah, uh, keep them up there. Yeah, Jim and Rose's adventure in Manila, Philippines. Mariah skills about 2.5%. That's what the CCD said. Yeah, and I think the regular flu is a little bit less than 1%. But having said that, if you're that 1 or 2 or 2.5%, that's a big deal. Lady Farmer thinks big. Malls and bank here are very cautious. They get your temperature before you get inside the mall. Banks give you sanitizer. Yeah, again, taking someone's temperature doesn't mean nothing. That just means that uh, you're asymptomatic or symptomatic, whichever it is, and that you're obviously infectious. Alexis, did you get your California Wonder Peppers to germinate? I was out there yesterday, and yes, they all came up like within 3 hours of each other. The Yola Wonders that I planted right next to it have not come up. But yeah, we've got, I don't know, maybe 50 little bell pepper plants up out there, and it's going to be fun transplanting those. Hairy Skin back. Just got up and saw you on, Brian, morning from Santa Rosa Laguna. Another sunny day in the Philippines. Yep. We had a little bit of rain yesterday, just enough of a shower to where I won't have to go out there and water. Trucking USA with Brian. Good morning, Brian, Salt Lake City. Brian and Brian show. Good morning to you as well. Carol, we have 2 cases in Indiana. I'm a nurse, front line. Yeah, Carol, healthcare workers, it's always, God bless you guys. Um, it's a tough road to hoe. Marie Faye, I'm sorry, I can't, there's no way I can pronounce your last name. But hello to you too in Hong Kong. Mike, how are you doing, Brian? Say hi to family. How about everybody else? You doing? Everyone here is doing fine. Gary wants to know at the fish pen, what's the risk of sharks getting in or damaging the net? The biggest shark that Gabriel has ever seen around here, and Gabriel's been on this water for 30 years now. He sees a baby shark every now and then. There's just no sharks around here, either because there's no feed for them or they've all been hunted out. There's no sharks around here, basically. Jim, good morning to you as well. Wolf, and water can become liquid compression without containment. Disagree. You can't compress. You can squeeze a liquid, but you can't compress it. Uh, Whenever you try to compress a liquid, it's going to go somewhere. Uptown Cosmo. I'm on double the iodine. Okay. They're saying vitamin D is effective on helping with the virus. Yeah, I think for most healthy people, even if you catch the virus, uh, you're just going to basically have a bad flu. Just do the things you would normally do to treat your flu: rest, liquids. Lady farmer thinks big or lack of oxygen. Don't know what that was in reference to. Texas Filipino. I'm learn to grow that. I'm wanting to learn to grow that, so I'm watching your results. I assume you're uh, referring to the Azola. Too far. Sub number 48. Wow. I went too far. And the Urban Cook. I'm terrible with names. Steve, I think. Hello to you as well. I scrolled down way too far. Uh, and I just moved the wheel on the mouse one click, and it went down like 30 comments. I'm sorry, guys. Where are we? Oh, there we go. Okay. Marvin, I live in Georgia, and we have a school close to me that is shut down by the virus. Up until now, the local news has been playing that down. But try to go get some toilet paper and towels. Well, yeah, I don't know how bad things are getting in the United States. I do know that it's a lot of hysteria because America is just full of hysterical people. Brian, the Azola guy was the airplane that dropped the bomb on Japan. I don't know. See if I can just go down. Oh, what did I do? There we go. Let's see if we can just go one. There we go. Good morning, Richard. And thank you for those muscle ropes. We're going to be going to Lynn and Anthony of Lynn and Anthony life in the Lynn and Anthony's life in the Philippines. Lynn has some family here that have fish pens, and they do mussels, clams, crabs, and all that. I think we're scheduled to go out and visit their operation this next Friday. And so I'm going to get some good ideas on what to do with those ropes. Yeah, I'm not a big goat fan. Uh, when our first was Wednesday night, and no news yet. Uh, Dev, hope you all at MB family would be safe from the virus. Please take all precautions. Luckily, that I was talking about heat and the virus at the beginning of this uh, stream, and the Philippines is hot, and viruses don't like heat. And I think the cases here, that I think they just got a couple more in Manila. The cases of the coronavirus is in the Philippines, as far as I know, are people that got sick somewhere else and came here. I don't think it's spread uh, person to person in the Philippines yet because I think it's just too hot. Don't quote me on that. I think that's the case. Well, if a mask does not work, well, it can. I don't see how it could do any harm. James, we heard about Chinese soldiers also, and we all saw a strange boat offshore here one morning, and local Coast Guard called out for spotters. I saw myself the boat at dawn. Well, I guess I'm out of the loop on the Chinese soldiers. I had no idea. I don't know if they're government sanctioned Chinese soldiers or what it is. Mr. Biloxi Fireman. I have 41 goats for sale in South Mississippi. I'm getting rid of them before we have twin Philam babies with a toddler. I don't need the extra headache from the goats. Yeah, goats are an extra headache. Robert Matthews, wrong. It is hot here in Australia and still it's spreading fast. I can only go by what I've heard. Lady Farmer think big Texas Filipino. Wow, I heard slowly Chinese invading Philippines. Well, I think any invasion from China to the Philippines will be an economic one rather than soldiers, boots on the ground. Uptown Cosmo, isn't it hot in China? Well, not in the winter. Remember, this outbreak started late November, early December, and it's cold in China. They're much higher longitude than here. Um, 85. George Stoyles, the average age of people getting the virus is 55. Well, that puts me right in the mix. Mr. Biloxi Fireman, China's in their winter now. Yes, they are. Martin Vanderbent, I have heard that there is a nursery in Bohol where there is hybrid plants. I think I heard it through Backland Homestead Farms there in Facebook. I have no idea. Mark Cooper, hi Brian. Have you tried running the new Boss Lady engine with the little old engine off? Uh, actually, yes and no. Not on a speed trial, but it will start and run and make the boat go with just the diesel engine. And we're not gonna push that new diesel engine until it's broken in well. My Jen is a real estate broker. Was saying last night that a lot of people in Manila are looking to move out to the suburbs because of virus fear. Makes sense to get away from densely populated areas. Yeah, that's just I don't know. Wanting to move out from where you live because of coronavirus is just hysteria. Oh well, Mr. Biloxi Fireman, that's a point that I hadn't considered. He said that kids can get the coronavirus and not show symptoms, however they can spread it. Hadn't thought about that. Marvin Clayton, I can send you a garden tractor transmission that would work very good on your boat. I hadn't thought about that. It would even give you reverse for a couple speeds forward, but it would be some work to install. You know what? I'd love a garden tractor transmission. I never thought about that, but that would be just perfect. Uh, I've noticed the further north you go, the less cases there are. Martin, thanks for showing your work. God bless you. It's our pleasure. Imelva, howdy, Brian. Harbor Freight is having a tent sale this weekend here in Arkansas. Need anything? Yeah, everything. Harbor Freight, was my go-to source for tools in the States. Uh, I got a lot of stuff at Harbor Freight. I just love to go there. I could spend thousands and thousands of dollars at Harbor Freight, even though it's not the best quality. It was good enough quality. Mike, good morning to you, Big B. So how close was you to jumping in after Nene? Hell, my dogs and I go in there all the time with them. Well, I yelled for Gabriel to come and get her. I had to get down off the platform. I had to put the camera down, get the phone out of my pocket, get my cigarettes and lighter out of my pocket, and I was on my way in, and Gabriel splashed down right next to her. So I picked up the camera and started filming him. But I was real close to jumping in. She's a tiny little. He's talking about Nene falling into the ocean. Nene's a tiny little dog. She only weighs 10 pounds. And even though it was tiny little waves, they're only 8 inch, maybe a foot waves. Uh, she's only a foot long. So for her, it was really big waves. And she was swimming along the net. She wasn't paying any attention to me calling her. She was swimming along the net of the fish pen, going to where the last place that she had seen me. But we got her out. Uh, James, we plan to do aquaponics here like you're wanting. Yeah, we'll swap notes. They keep saying the coronavirus is in Nebraska, but Nebraska is treating the already sick the same as UNMC did with Ebola. Tim, Brian, I will send those seeds this week. Any seeds, I accept with open arms. Scott Brinks, howdy. The Seduced by Pigs from Middle Arizona. Soon to be in Leyte. They're a great example of simple and quality life. Well, thank you, Scott. Philippus Taylor, I don't know how to say that. Hello to you as well. Hello, Melinda. Marcel came in a little while ago. I think she's awake, but she may have gone back in and gone to sleep. She bailed um, early on and went into the second bedroom. Michael H. Hello. All this about the virus. Yes, everyone should be careful, but causing fear not good. I think it may need to turn it down a notch. That's just my thinking. Yeah, as I said close to the beginning, I think there's a lot of hysteria going on. Even though this is a deadly virus, it's only a couple percent mortality rate. Um, not that much. Well, in orders of magnitude, more than the common flu, but it's not like it's going to wipe out the population of the Earth. Mark, good morning. I know I'm way behind. I just jumped too far again. I don't know why it does that. I apologize, guys. I can scroll down. I can see all the uh, I can see what everyone is typing and commenting on the right side of my screen, and so I can scroll down through it. It doesn't because I'm behind, and there's no way that I can keep up. I stop it and then slowly scroll through and answer as I can. But my mouse isn't letting me slowly scroll through. It'll jump down 30 or 40, and then I've got to go back and find out where I was. And I must have jumped down. There we go. Uh, Vitamin D has been proven to reduce inflammation in the lung by 52%, which is what happens when one gets the coronavirus, 20 to 30 milligrams daily, according to the World Health Organization. Sound advice, it seems. Edward, what about the bejeweled date palm trees? Could you grow them? I have no idea. I've seen I've seen date palms here. I don't know what kind they are. Um, I do know that similar to copra, similar to coconut, the price of date palms here has fallen through the floor. There's date palm plantations all around here, and I only know of one or two that they actually take care of and harvest. All the rest have basically just been abandoned. Black man, Filipino wife, Imelda Neal. Hello from Arkansas. Uh, Mike, I was stationed at Subic Bay Naval Base and I saw 3 sharks over 15 feet. That's why I quit swimming there. I am Polish, not stupid. Yeah, Mike. Well, it's a good thing that we're hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of miles away from Subic Bay. I have on a trip from Bohol to Cebu, I did see the fin of a large shark, uh, but we were, I don't know, 15 miles from a landmass. There are sharks around. There's just none around where we are, and it's pretty warm here for really large sharks like great white. Uh, Gabriel's never seen him. Yeah, hurry up, old man. Well, the old man's trying. Yeah, I am late on the chat. Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know that. They did compress water during some of the space shuttle experiments, I guess he means. The thing is, you can't do it on Earth because or gravity. Marilyn, good morning. Corey Ross, the famous Corey Ross, our number one fan, I think, from Alberta, Canada. Hello to you, Corey. Wolfen, I'm here. I'm there in 2 weeks, Brian. Come on by. Uh, Uptown Cosmo. I have seen YouTube of sharks in the Philippines, but they are the friendly, petable kind. Yeah. Jim Sadler. You should come over here to Dipolog. We have fish ponds, we have fish pens, we have crab, we have shrimp. My father-in-law is in the business. Well, they have all those things here as well, and I like Mahal. And Marvin, Brian, I give credit. 154 people talking. That's a lot to keep up with. Yeah, it is. And the boss lady's not here to help me, which she does sometimes. Alexis, yes, it has been reported up in Manila. Yeah, I'm amazed. There's 161 people watching, but hey, guys, there's only 78 thumbs ups. Smash that thumbs up button. Yes, Marvin. Brian need to set up chat in slow so it's not hard for him to read. Yeah, and I can tell I'm way behind, so I'm trying my best, guys. Uh, Richard Booker, the fishnet might be good to keep the birds out, maybe, but hopefully they won't get to it. Ted T, how's your wife doing? She was sleeping when I started this stream, but I think she's up and around now. She's probably having her morning coffee in the second bedroom. She's doing just fine. The fishnet might be good to. Oh, I already read that. Corey Ross, when you had the Boleros, how much did you sell the Boleros per kilos? I don't know what you mean by Boleros, Corey. I don't. I have no idea what a Bolero is. Well, hey James, thanks for the gift. Uh, Baby Charlie will much appreciate it. Yeah, hit that thumbs up. Sergio, hello to you as well. Gilda, hello. Yeah, Gilda, we don't often, well, we never have done them early morning like this. It's early morning here in Bohol, the Philippines. We usually do them late in the evening. Uh, I had the idea to do one early morning to give some people the opportunity who haven't been able to participate in a live stream to give them the opportunity to do so. And by golly, it seems to be working since there's 163 people watching at the moment. So thank you, everyone, and welcome. Uh, I'm old and slow. I'm trying to keep up, but it's pretty tough. And yeah, I know I could have a moderator, but I haven't found someone who could do it. Haven't figured out how to do it. Um, Simply Shan Crafts. Hello, first time here. Well, thank you for joining us. Simply Shan Crafts. Is that a YouTube channel? Sounds like it. Maurice LeBlanc, would a four wheeler be useful on your farm? And do they sell four wheelers in the Philippines? Um, we really don't have livestock. I mean, my oldest brother Richard and his wife Jeannie had four wheelers, but they raised cattle, and so larger distances involved. Here, we're not herding stock with them. We've only got a 5 acre place, uh, not that far to walk. So no, a four wheeler wouldn't be that useful unless you're. And I'm not that lazy. Uh, but yes, I have seen them in the Philippines. There's a local attraction here, not local, but on the island of Bohol, they have the Chocolate Hills. It's a tourist destination that everyone seems to want to go to. And when I was up on the lookout there, I looked down and there were maybe a half a dozen to a dozen four wheelers, I suppose, that you could rent, and a little course there where you could drive them around. So they they have them as a as a toy. So I would assume that they got them somewhere in the Philippines. I don't think they probably brought them from Cebu, uh, but rather than Bohol. But they are. I have seen them here. Yeah, good old Harbor Freight. Carolina Capri had to cancel my trip there next month due to the virus. There's people still coming every day. I would assume you canceled your trip from fear of catching the virus rather than some restriction. Uh, yeah, you tell them. You tell them, James. 166 watching and 58 thumbs up. That was a while ago because I've got 108 thumbs up now. Jan, first time live to chat here in Toronto, Canada. Welcome, Jan. Jim and Rose's adventure in Manila. We'll be going back to the USA tomorrow. I still have health insurance in the USA. Had to buy health insurance at the age of 70 anyway in the world. Marvin Clayton, Lynn, I assume you're saying Lynn and Anthony posted some videos for you today. Good morning, Pamela. Oh, I'm going through them fast now. Hello, Wes. God's blessings to you as well. James, hey, Brian, James from Alabama. You need some more A1. I'll be over there in April. Yeah, I love A1. But, I appreciate it, James. But you can't, I have found out that you can actually get A1 here. So it's not undoable. Uh, dill relish you can't get here, but A1 you can find. Jay and Jim. Good morning. My uh, Jason of Jay and Jim, loving and living in the Philippines. My partner in the fish pen. I just noticed that he came on. Oh, dun, dun. Oh, well, the lovely Marcel at 8:09. It was like 20 minutes ago when she was up and around. Uh, she's watching the live stream too. So yeah, Marcel's Homestead Kitchen. Uh, she's not cooking a lot these days because she's, uh, to prepare a meal and do the video and all that is a 2 hour or so, not ordeal but routine. And oh, I lost it again. I think I figured out why it scrolls so fast is if I turn loose of it. Where? There we go. I don't even know what I was just talking about. Marvin, good morning, Marcel. Pamela, Brian, one lady died in Fort Myers already from the corona. Yeah, there's going to be, it's spreading around in the States. There's going to be deaths. It's an unfortunate, but it's going to happen. All right, Simply Shan. Uh, Greg Parsons, our trip from Toronto got canceled 3 weeks ago, but have rebooked for late April. Have landed, have landed family in Tarlac. Yeah, Craig, were you going through China? Did you have a layover in China? Because I know the direct flights from the U.S. to the Philippines are, as far as I know, not restricted. It's spreading, Jan Wells. It's spreading like fire in the U.S. Yeah. From what I understand, the Chinese and Filipinos are fighting over fishing grounds. Well, they might be arguing over it. They'll never fight over it. Um, Philippines doesn't really have a military, especially compared to the Chinese. Yeah, Jay's wanting some pants. Racer X, good morning. Hello to you, is Ron. Racer X, one of my bucket list things to do just to learn how to surf. I plan to do it in the Philippines, but I don't hear a lot about shark attacks there. Yeah, I don't think they're uh, great whites, bull sharks. I don't think there's a lot of uh, sharks around the surfing areas that people tend to have problems with. Hey, Bill. Hello from Michigan. That's Bubs Nova. That's our buddy Bill. I don't quit this coughing. I'm going to have a cigarette. Nancy Harriman. Hi there. I just saw on TV that CNN just said 4 more cases in your area. Maybe you're referring to Manila, the Metro Manila area. I don't think there's any on Bohol yet. Robert Coe, what happened to the big lizard that was under your tree in your front yard? Robert, I don't know. It just it disappeared. Um, it's a jungle out there. I don't know if one of the dogs caught it and ate it, or it just went to greener pastures. One day it was there, and then I didn't see it anymore. Hello, Walter. Walter Tunk from Chicago. Hey, Charles. Good evening to you as well from Georgia. Ryan, good to see you as well. Ron, hello from Texas Air Force. Thank you, James. You guys hit that thumbs up. I am going to be finishing up here pretty soon. It's 8:30. I'm going to try to catch up with the comments before I go. I don't see how I'm going to be able to, but I do have things I got to get started on this morning. I've got to get that Azola moved. I need to go check on the piggery, see how everything's doing down there. Just do my morning walk around. And I don't know what Marcel has planned for us today. Wowie, the vet tech is coming over. I didn't realize I've been at this like an hour and a half now. So yeah, I'm gonna have to start winding it down. Ryan, before, oh yeah, okay. If you have acidic soil, sprinkle a small amount of baking soil on it when digging. Mix it and water and retest your soil after a few days. Do this in a small area. That's a good idea. Total Clean Complete Service is Red Red your son? Just started watching your channel. No, Red Red isn't my son. Red Red is Gina's son. Gina is Marcel's father's common law wife. If you guys can all figure that out. But Red's a great little guy. He's a lot of fun to have around most of the time. Timothy White, hello from Tyler, Texas. Check out the Rileys. Good morning. Roger Graham. Hi, Brian. Great to see your dad is working well enough these days to do such a broadcast. All the best from Pangasinan. I don't know how to say that. Yeah, it works. It obviously works much better early in the morning. George Stoyles, where's a good place to live in Bohol, but not in the middle of nowhere? That's a good question. I don't know what you mean by if you're thinking our place is the middle of nowhere. Uh, there could be some validity in that. Any of the smaller towns, I guess, if you want to live in a town, any of them would do, I suppose. I'm not a city guy. I wouldn't go for Tagbilaran or something like that. Um, Uniquely extra. When piglets are born, how many days are they strictly on their mother's milk? If the sow is tied, if the sow is tied and we have no fence, will the piglet just remain with their mom, or will they wander off? Um, about a week or 10 days, mother's milk only, and then you can start to introduce them creep feed, uh, a booster, a piglet starter. It's really small pellets with a lot of milk in it that tastes really good to them. The problem with that is keeping mom out of it because it's really expensive, and you don't want mom eating that. It's about 5 times as expensive as regular feed. Um, the piglets uh, will basically stay with their mom. Once they get up to about 3 weeks old, they might start 2 or 3 weeks old. They'll start to explore, but they know where mom is, and mom is food, so they won't go too far. They'll want to stay close to those lunch buckets. They won't wander off forever. Let's put it that way. They will do some exploring, but they'll come back. Corey Ross, broiler chickens. How much did you sell the broiler chickens for? We didn't sell that many of them. We only sold maybe a half a dozen. And I forget exactly what we sold them for. It was whatever the going rate was. Most of those broiler chickens we put in the freezer and we ate them. We ate them pretty quick. You would think, I don't know how many we butchered and put in the freezer, but didn't last us nearly as long as what you would think. Ron Matthew, you must have some good content for 164 watching. Most I've ever seen. How did you accomplish that? Charisma, good looks, charm. I don't think it's any. I don't think it's any of those, Ron. Um, you know, uh, I think we do. I think I do put up pretty good content. Uh, my rule of thumb is that if I think something is interesting, then I assume it'll be interesting to other people. I've been really blessed with good subscribers, a lot of good subscribers. Um, what's the secret? I you'd have to ask the subscribers and ask the people watching. Um, basically, all I can say to that. Juanito Flores, good morning. If you ever need a mod, let me know. What do you mean? What's a mod? Everyone's saying hi to the boss lady. Yeah, Rich. Share. Oh, Walter. Yeah, Walter. This is the first time we've ever gone live early in the morning. Timothy White, Texas Filipino. I had to make a detour through Terrell yesterday on the way to Arlington. Construction on I-20. Ron, how's the COVID-19 there? I assume you're saying you're asking how it is in the Philippines. They just reported some new cases in Manila, I think, yesterday, but it's not a huge problem in the Philippines as of yet. Sally, good morning to you as well. Well, the dogs are obviously having a good time out there. Joseph Baston, please do your business in your home country. Don't try it in the Philippines. I lost too much there. Well, I have to disagree, Joseph. Uh, if you made money, if you did, well, I don't know. I could go on a long rant. Um, not everybody can be in business, whether it's their home country or another country. And you can lose money here pretty easily, but you can do that anywhere. And I don't think it's any, if you have business sense, it's not any harder uh, here than it is in your home country. And the people who lose money here in business ventures, there's reasons for that. Uh, lack of homework being the number one, and having to rely too much on locals that they don't know that well, being another, and having a family too closely involved in the business. Those are all, they contribute greatly to business failures here. Brian, do you ever have to leave and go back to the U.S. due to visa? No, I mean, I haven't been here long enough. I'm just coming up on 3 years here pretty soon. So you can stay here on a tourist visa up to 3 years before you have to exit the country and come back. And I'm nowhere near that time frame yet. Ron, well, thank you, and you're welcome here. Please check out the videos. Chuck, I wonder if being confined in the plane breathing the same air as everyone else does. You know, Chuck, I think they've got pretty good HEPA filters on those planes. I don't know what the micron rating is on those, how small they can of a particle they can remove from the air. Myself, I wouldn't want to be on a crowded plane full of potentially sick people. Michael H. The waters at Subic are deeper, and that's where the sharks hang out. Yeah, I was stationed there also a hole a lot more shallow. The reason not given for much sharks is they're out of the deeper water. Yeah, they have whale migrations all along the coast of California. Sperm whales. I forget what other kinds of whales, but they have a problem there with killer whales predating on them. And they figured out that, and then the whales have figured out as well, that if they get into shallower water, 40 meters deep or shallower, the killer whales leave them alone. And so I would assume with the sharks, it's kind of the same thing. They like to hunt in deeper water. Texas Filipino. Yeah, James, I've used BDO as well, and they're pretty good. Well, thank you, Kay. Well, now I've lost my place again. I don't know why that happens. Ugh, totally lost. I'll get close because they're talking about banks again. Here we go. I apologize, guys. In fact, I think I'm going to end this up. I've got to get things done. Uh, any any questions that I haven't gotten to in this live stream? I mean, there's still 135 people watching. Uh, there's no way that I can keep up with all these comments or all these questions, and I do appreciate them. And don't want the numbers to go down, but I've got to get busy today. Uh, I do appreciate everyone's support and interest in our channel. Really, really do appreciate it. Someone just sent a $5 gift. Again, I can't keep up with all this. It's just I'm too old and slow. But we do appreciate all your support, all your help. We thank you for watching our videos and watching the commercials on the videos. Every little bit helps. I'm going to end this up, guys. I'll go through if if uh, if there's some important questions left in this train of questions on this live chat. I'll make a video about it and answer those questions. And you can also at any time you guys can shoot me an email, brianslines52 at gmail.com. If you have questions that I haven't addressed, you can always shoot me an email. I'm going to sign off on this, guys. I appreciate everyone watching. I appreciate all the thumbs up, the gifts for Charlie. Much appreciated. Mr. Mike Demand. Thank you so much. So I'm going to end this up, guys. Thank you, everyone, for watching, and enjoy your day.